sharing how we turned plain flat doors into these panel doors using 1/4-inch plywood. The closet in our bedroom had been without doors for quite some time. I was hoping to find some antique doors to use, but had no luck finding any the right size. So we decided we'd make some of our own. Our 200-year-old farmhouse has a mix of old doors in it, but some of the oldest ones, and probably original, are these 4-panel style ones. So we decided to recreate that look. Mike found these plain hollow doors for free. They weren't quite the right size, so we had to add wood to the outside and bottom of the doors to fit our closet opening. Once we had the doors the right dimension for our opening, we started our DIY for giving them the look of panel doors. Mike used a circular saw with a cutting guide to cut strips out of the 1/4-inch plywood that would be the pieces around the edges and middle, which are the stiles and rails on a door. You can make these any size you want. We were trying to match the other old doors we have in our house, so that's how we came up with our measurements. Once the strips were cut to width, he measured and cut the strips to the length of the door using a table saw. Next, he clamped down the 2 outer edge pieces to figure out the width the center piece needed to be, and measured and cut that. Next, he used construction adhesive to help attach the strips to the door. We used construction adhesive because it was being attached to a finished surface. Then he nailed the strips in place. And just repeated that process with all the strips. Once he had all the strips nailed down, he filled the nail holes and gaps with lightweight spackle. Then he used an orbital sander to sand everything smooth. We wanted our doors to look older, to match the other doors in our house, so we beat them up a little bit. Next, Mike measured for the hinges and used a router to cut out where the hinge will go. Then the doors were ready to prime and paint. Then it was time to find some hardware for the door. We went to a local shop to check out their selection of antique knobs. I'm really into the antique Victorian doorknobs right now and loved looking through all these. I ended up finding some on eBay though for a really good deal. For the hinges, we just bought these black ones and I used some rub and buff on them to give them the antique brass look to match the knobs and other hardware in our room. If you're doing this, don't forget to do the screws as well. And here's a little tip if you're a messy painter like me. Lemon essential oil takes paint off so easily. Just use it along with your soap when washing. Since the doors don't latch, we needed a way for them to stay closed, so we used a ball catch latch. Mike drilled the top of the door for the ball catch. He marked where the plate was going and chiseled that out so it was flush with the top of the door, and then screwed it in. Then it was time to hang the doors. And just ignore my messy closet. Mike marked where the hinges would go and screwed the hinges into the door frame. Then attached the hinge to the door. Then he marked out for the ball catch striker plate and installed that. All of which turned out to be for naught, since I didn't like how loud those latches were when opening and closing the doors. So Mike ended up taking those out and installing magnetic catches instead. What a guy, and yes, they sound much quieter. Next was installing the rosettes and doorknobs. And then Mike installed the doorstop along the top and sides of the door frame and painted those. And the doors were finished, and we could finally call this closet done. Mike also made small doors for the top section of the closet that our mini split AC heat unit is in. I wanted to be able to hide that when we weren't using it, so we came up with the idea of creating this nook above the closet for it. And as you can see from this photo, I did straighten up my closet a little more.